One of the most popular pieces of advice for professional photographers is completely useless. And even more so now than it ever was. Maybe back in yesteryear on the film days, it had some relevance. But today, it's pointless. Let's look at this. The advice goes like this. Well, you want to start off assisting. Maybe, and we'll do food photography for the example here because it's what I specialise in. Shoot some local restaurant work, then maybe some local brands, and then work your way up to the big campaigns. It's not just in terms of the work either I see these things. It's like, maybe you should rent a phase one first so you can practice on it so when you get a big job, you're ready for it. It's this kind of like, let's do the baby steps leading up to it. Now, in many careers, this works. But the problem is, assisting, local restaurant, worldwide ad campaign, they are three completely different jobs. It's not just that they're like steps up, they're completely different. When you're assisting, the skill set you need is completely different to the photographers. Yes, assisting might be useful to get a view on set, but do it twice. When you're shooting a local restaurant, it's a completely different job to a massive ad campaign. And it's the same with you're doing some local headshots for a company compared to taking a portrait for Time magazine. They are two completely different jobs. When I'm shooting for restaurants, when I was starting out, we were looking at doing as many dishes as possible in exactly the same way, boshing them out, editing them, delivering them, and off they go. I was doing it all by myself. Sometimes I had an assistant. But when I'm doing a massive campaign, we've got a couple of assistants, a lighting tech, a digital tech, retoucher, home economist, food stylist, food styling assistant, set design, set stylist, prop stylist, producer, project manager. We've got the creative director, the art buyer, the client. It's a huge team. It's a huge job. The equipment's completely different. The way we work throughout the day is completely different. It's a different job. Yes, they all require cameras, but if we're looking at that as a thing, driving a plane, driving a bus, driving a taxi, driving a moped, they are not the same thing. F1 racing driver, Uber driver, two very different jobs. You don't go, might Uber for a bit and then look into F1 or NASCAR, see how it goes. They're completely different things. They just have a car that's the common factor. And for some reason, as photographers, we're given this advice. It's useless. I've learnt nothing of use shooting restaurants that helps me on a commercial set. Nothing at all. It is a completely different job. If you need to make money whilst getting good enough to shoot commercial work, sure, go and shoot a restaurant, but don't use it as a stepping stone. If you have money backing you and you've got savings that you're going into this with, maybe a better idea would be to go, right, I'm going to build a commercially viable portfolio because, again, the portfolio for commercial work is completely different to local work. They want different things. They want original ideas, a work with a vision, and they want to see a style of work that nobody else is achieving. Your local restaurant doesn't want that. Your local company doesn't want that. He needs some headshots. They just want bish, bash, bosh, looks good enough. That's all they need. Two very different things. Maybe take that easy cash in the low-hanging fruit early days, but work for the long-term goal. From day one, if you know where you want to be in this career, start shooting towards that now. Don't go, we'll shoot a restaurant portfolio and then we'll adjust it to be a commercial portfolio. You're just doubling your workload. The restaurants will take anything. They'll just go for anyone who can take pictures at their price point. Aim high and work towards that high goal. Don't sit there snaking through all these weird career paths and little things. You're doing yourself a disservice. Go big or go home. That's the only way to do it in this industry. I hope this has been of use to you. I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.